Morning everyone, and welcome to Felixstowe TV, and on another grey, dull, misty, rainy day here in Felixstowe. What else can we say, but we must brighten the mood up today. And today we've got a guest, but before I tell you about the guest, I have an announcement here that I will read out, which somebody has asked me to read, so I will do. It's for the Young Musicians Concert in Felixstowe this year. It starts tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th of July at 1 p.m. in St Peter's and Paul's Church, Kingsfleet. Kingsfleet School Choir are going to open it, as they have done in the last 3 years. So please go along, have a look at that, and I'm sure you'll be good. There's a lot of things all the way through the year, actually. I was looking at this, and it goes right the way through to the 29th of August. So that's a musicians' concerts throughout the season. Now, this week we have, in particular, the highlight of our week here is when the torch comes through Felixstowe. And today on the sofa we have Mr. John Beer. Welcome, John.
Morning.
To Felixstowe TV, and you're going to be one of our runners for the torch, are you not?
I am, yes.
Okay, before we get to that, John, I know that you're a celebrity in Curtin. Now, Curtin is not a very big village, is it? You know, and I suppose most of you know everybody there. But besides just being a resident of the town, you've also got quite a history in the village, haven't you?
Yes.
Parish councillor?
Ex-parish councillor, I have to say. I was on the parish council for 18 years, and last May before last, in 2011, I decided that was enough. Let someone else have a go.
Yeah.
So I dropped out at those elections. So ex-councillor, but still very much involved, particularly with the recreation ground and Curtin Kestrel football.
Yeah. Now, have you seen many changes in Curtin throughout your years as a councillor? You know, or is it still the little village image that we all love about villages? You know, is it a village?
Yes, I think it is largely. I don't probably think we have enough get-togethers as a village, and that was highlighted really for the Jubilee celebrations.
Yeah.
Because that really brought the village together. We had the breakfast, the early morning breakfast. Yeah. Now
I saw the video on that, and I'm stunned.
So were most people, I think. Obviously, it was supposed to be on the green, but because of the weather, the Methodists let us go to the chapel, and everyone was shocked. I think when they got there, and I think the organisers were shocked, and there were about 3 times as many people they thought would be there. Yeah, I was absolutely amazed that
something like that. I thought you may have a few people, but it was a breakfast, so it was early morning thing.
I don't think anyone knew what to expect, and that was a shock to everybody. But it was a great success. And then, of course, we had the village history afternoon.
Yes, I saw that as well.
And then a few street parties, and accumulating with the White Horse barbecue evening, which was incredibly popular again. And then the lighting of the beacon, where we reckon there were about 400.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the videos. Sarah took loads of videos, and I saw the videos of what happened in Curtin, because I was down here filming for Felixstowe, and we had a good beacon light, and that was very well attended as well. Now, Curtin as a village, it's more separate. It's not part of the Trimleys and Morgan and Felixstowe because of the A14, isn't it? It's the other side of the bridge.
Yes, I think that's the key.
You know, and that keeps it separated, doesn't it? You know?
I think that's very true. I don't really know what to say, but you're right. That is.
Well, we have some developments coming up. I don't know what your opinions are. There's developments coming up for a proposed development in Innocents Lane.
That is a bit horrifying, to be honest.
It is.
We do have parish council meetings. We're all liaising with Levington, Nacton, Bucklesham. Everyone's getting together, and it's being run by our parish council, as we're the nearest. And they have meetings every couple of months, discussions, and obviously everybody is against it. noise pollution, light pollution.
Absolutely, it's going to be horrendous because it's not going to be a 9 till 5 thing, is it?
Oh, no,
it's going to be 24/7, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and the amount of lorries, and as you say, the light pollution and noise. It's amazing how you can actually hear the noise from the dock, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that is noisy. You sit outside your garden at night when we get the weather, but the noise is actually.
Well, even at Curtin, you can. I mean, I can hear the railway going in the middle of the night if our windows are open, and that's 5 miles away. So with that sort of facility in Innocence Lane, nightmare.
It is.
Yeah.
It would probably spoil Curtin as such. I think it would probably spoil.
And that's obviously one of the reasons we're trying to resist it. Yeah.
John, you have other fame. We did mention it just a second ago, but you're one of the founders of the Curtin Kestrel football team, aren't you? Which is a youth football club, yeah.
Yes, I did that in 1986, which started when I took my son to Northgate Sports Centre when he was 8.
Yeah.
To let him have an hour's coaching, and I looked at what was going on and thought I could do this because I'd played football, you know, from young age up to 30 odd, and so I thought when I came back I just sort of tried to get some boys together, and we started off with about 14, but they were all ages, right up from about 8-year-olds up to about 14, 15-year-olds, so they were all called Curtin boys at the time, and that's how we started, and it developed from there really. I'll never forget when we first set a team up at a young age, and I talked about getting a sponsor with names on shirts, and my son thought, you idiot, you know, you're never get anything like that. There's no way you're going to get sponsors, not a professional football team, but we did. Local businesses came forward.
Well, I started around about the same time as you. It was the early 80s, I think it was, and I started with Trinity Red Devils, which is obviously
the old enemy. The old enemy.
There was a home matches, weren't they? Yeah. But I started back then, and you're quite correct. Getting kit and getting someone to sponsor the kit, and I started with the under 6s, and I think the first kit I ever got sponsored was from the Hand in Hand. And the Hand in Hand bought me the kit, and it was red and white, because everything had to be red and white in those days. It was red and white. It was a red and white club. It was red and white, and I remember after about the 4th match, I put all the stuff into the washing machine on too high a temperature, and we went red and pink. But the Hand in Hand sponsored that, and that was a fantastic thing to get in those days. You're quite right, you know?
That was
and the following year, which we'd never had before, we had tracksuit sponsors.
Oh yes, I remember it well.
So back in '86, you say, is when you started with the Curtin.
I managed the team from under 8, under 9 up to under 16, and then I sort of started carrying on as secretary and treasurer, which I'd been all the time. Helped another chap out who's subsequently become the chairman, that's Phil Barker, and helped him for 2 or 3 years because his boy was 13, 14, 15, 16, and then I stopped my management career and been carrying on with secretary treasurer. Yes, we do.
Well, it's great, isn't it? You feel part of the club. You've had the kids all the way through. When you get to the end, you sort of say, well, what do I do now, don't you?
Yeah, that's one slightly disappointing thing from a club point of view, I think, is that no one seems prepared to get to under 16 and want to do anything else. I can't seem to get anyone to come back as under 8 manager, or even really to do much coaching. They move on to other things, or think, well, I've done 8 years, I've had enough.
But they usually start, do they not, when their own child is one of the things, so they go through it with their own child.
9 times out of 10 it's a parent, isn't it, who runs the team, and they get to under 16, they've had enough, and you can understand that. But it would be nice if we just had 1 or 2 sort of kept with us to keep us going.
You stayed on with the club after you finished thing. So what were you, chairman of the club or something like that?
No, Phil Barker was chairman. I mean, I'm secretary and treasurer, which I always tell Phil is much more difficult because obviously if you've got 120 boys signed on, it's a lot of money, and
it is
a lot of boys to get registered and everything.
It does take a lot of work, an awful lot of work.
People don't realise, do they?
They don't. They just turn up on a Saturday morning and the kids play football and go home, but there's so much going on behind the scenes.
Dead right.
And you know, the little subscription we used to ask for our boys, you know, goes a long way. It's good.
Yes.
So I understand also that we're carrying on the football theme here for a moment, but you started the first girls' team, all girls' team.
Well, I didn't really start it myself, but we had a request from Scott Crane, who was then with Felixstowe Hawks a couple of years ago. They were having trouble there and they wanted to move to Curtin if possible. It fitted in with our arrangements that they could play on a Sunday because the pitch isn't overused on a Sunday, and it was also fitted in with our sort of pledge to the Charter Standard situation where they did want us to create a girls' team. We said we would never be able to because there just aren't enough girls. So to get that team lock, stock and barrel was an achievement. I can't take much credit for it apart from providing the facilities and being secretary for them, not everybody else.
Did they have success though? Were they successful?
They were reasonably successful, They weren't brilliant, but they weren't bottom by any means. They were good little side.
Girls don't seem to take up football, do they? You know, it's dominated by men, isn't it? But the actual England women's team went through the World Cup this year. I think they were finalists in the World Cup.
I don't know where they got to. I don't know if they got finalists, but yes, we do. We do have the odd girl up to under 11. Not many, not as many as we'd like even. But,
well, health and safety and things like that, obviously, when I started, when you started, it was just a parent said, yes, I'll do it, and away we used to go.
Yes.
But now it's health and safety obviously comes in, and I think your managers all have to be FA trained now, do they not?
Yes, they all have to have a level 1 qualification. Which is not a 5-minute thing. I mean, it's sort of a Saturday and a Sunday, and then 2 other 3-hour sessions, then an assessment. So it's a fair commitment.
It is a fair commitment.
All have to have CRB checks, of course, like we all do. They have to be renewed every 3 years. Safeguarding has to be renewed every 3 years. So you have to, as secretary, you have to keep an eye on all these qualifications and keep reminding people that you've got to go for another course now. They can't believe that 3 years has gone and they've got to do another one.
Got to do another one,
it's very different.
Now, we understand also that you raised rather a phenomenal amount of money for the Curtin community. Well, is it a community hall or is it just a football stadium?
No, it belongs to the Curtin and Felton Parish Council because it's on their land. But it's very much linked to Curtin Kestrels because it was the Football Foundation who gave us something like £145,000.
Fantastic.
That's where the bulk of the money, I think it was about 210,000, something like that. So we still had to raise quite a bit, which came from all sorts of different sources.
Did you actually get any lottery funding for it?
No, not lottery as such, just the Football Foundation was the big chunk.
Us at Trinity Red Devils, we had the same sort of thing going on at the same time.
Very similar time, wasn't it?
We have the Vicky Hall Memorial. It's not a hut, is it? The building.
It's a superb building, isn't it? It was built by the same builder, in fact.
It was, yes.
It was, Heron Build who did that for us, and it is lovely, but I can't believe that it's almost 8 years old now. It's incredible.
I just think it's wonderful where a village comes together and they get these facilities, you know, because they're all there and they're wonderful things for the kids. You know, we had nothing like that when I was a kid. It's just phenomenal, isn't it?
We had the old hut when I was managing teams, and there was dreadful facilities in there. And
we were as well.
We never ever thought.
Porter cabin, I think it was.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we never ever thought we'd get the building. If we hadn't had the Football Foundation money, obviously we wouldn't have had a chance. So we were pretty relieved when that came through.
So the kids are quite fortunate, aren't they?
I think I mean, we've got the kitchen, so there's morning refreshments on a Saturday morning. It's a great hub on a Saturday morning to see 3 teams in action. Loads of parents, not enough car parking space even on that ground, and
well,
it's
do you
nice.
still play cricket on the ground there? Did they have a cricket team?
No, we gave that up. Well, I can't. I know there was one there, but I can't remember being involved with it well over 20 years, probably over 30 years ago, I think. Because it's not been since I've been involved, it hasn't been there, so I reckon it's probably 30 years plus.
I know you also have very good car boot sale there once a year.
Yes, the May Scouts car boot is extremely popular, as is the fun run. You know, the 5 mile run's even more popular.
Yeah, it is.
And we had 550 runners.
I was going to say, this year was the most successful ever for that run.
550 runners, yeah.
I think that, again, for a village is phenomenal.
Yes, it's a major event, and that you couldn't do it without the pavilion being there. I mean, they used to do it with the old pavilion, I don't know how, but now, of course, with our current facilities, they lap it up.
You've got a good ground. That's council ground, own that ground, do they?
The parish council actually own it, yeah.
The same as the Trinity one, it was owned by a organisation called the Stennets. It was the
Stennets Committee.
It was bequeathed to the village by the Stennett family.
So yours is slightly different because you actually own it. Trinity Red Devils.
Trinity Red Devils don't own it. It's part of the Stennett.
It's part of Stennets, is it?
It's Stennet's committee. Yes, there's a Stennet's committee that owns that field.
Yeah. So we are different in it.
But
it's
we're
the
the
actual
main
parish
users.
council.
We are the Trinity Red Devils.
It's the same with Curtin Castle.
They looked after it. They maintained it. They did all the work on it. To keep it in such good nick as it was.
Yeah.
We used to have some great tournaments up there once a year.
Yes, I remember.
Great tournaments.
Yeah,
up there.
I remember them. Yeah.
Anyway, getting on to the main reason that you're here is you're going to be one of our torchbearers.
I am. Yes.
There was a headline in the newspaper last week where it says disaster or something like that.
Flaming disgrace.
Flaming disgrace. That's what it was. That there was no torchbearers actually from Felixstowe. Well, I claim Curtin is near enough.
Well, it is, but it still seems a shame to me.
That nobody from Felixstowe is actually.
I mean, how many people live in Felixstowe?
Absolutely, I don't know.
Is it 20,000 plus? Isn't
it?
Yeah,
it is 20,000 plus. Yeah, there are something like 14,000 households in Felixstowe. You know,
it's obviously it is down to the nomination process.
This is what I was going to say. You have to be nominated. So you were obviously nominated. Do you know who nominated you?
I don't know the actual person unless it was the parish council chairman. I think the parish council received a nomination form, as did all parish councils, all town councils, and they made the effort
to fill it in.
They phoned me up, I think, August, September. Just said, if we put you forward, would you want to do it? So I said, that's quite on. Yeah, wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
and forgot about it really. And it's all crept up on me since then in various stages. I think in December I got the provisional go-ahead, and then they said they've got to check my documents, so you have to send them passports and everything.
Oh right, yeah.
And then in March they came back and said, yes, you're definitely in.
Wow.
So then you get a bit nervy.
Yeah.
But seeing it once it started and following bits online, things like that, it's quite impressive, isn't it? And
it is quite
an honour, really.
Yeah,
you feel a bit humble, I think.
Well, it is quite an honour.
Yeah.
I would be very nervous, I think, if I had the challenge of doing it. But okay, so you've been told you're doing it. Now, you've got your uniform, have you?
Yeah, it only came last week. So they said right from the start that you'd only get it 7 to 10 days before.
Yeah.
Not really sure why, and they never. Despite the fact everybody was asking where I was going to be, I didn't know until last week. It came at the same time as the uniform.
I think it's a security thing, isn't it? They're very, very security conscious on this, and I know that when I've seen the torchbearers running on TV, that they're surrounded by security, aren't they?
Yes, quite frightening, really, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is quite frightening. Now, you obviously bust up to. We're starting at Beatrice Avenue, aren't we? That's.
I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but I know I've got a report to Christchurch Park area in Ipswich for some reason at 10 to 2, so that's over 3 hours before anything happens.
Yeah. It
and
all
then
starts about 4:30, I think, doesn't it?
4:45-ish in Beatrice Avenue.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I think we have a few instructions when we're there, and then we're then bussed up to be ready to be dropped off.
Because you all come together, don't you? You're all on the bus.
We're on the bus.
Because you don't actually get to see a torch until you're on the bus, do you?
No, that's right. I haven't got a torch yet, and I understand the bus will come up about a quarter of an hour before the actual thing starts and go around dropping the various torchbearers off at their point.
At their points,
so we then have to stand there, I think, until the cavalcade arrives, and then we're thrown out and off we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they call them kiss points, don't they?
Yes.
Where you change around. That's become a bit of a thing where the two torches are put together. It's called a kiss point. I don't know who penned that to start with, but
and then you stand there getting photos galore done, and then off you go.
And then off you go. Yeah. Now, how far do you have to run? I think it's
they give an average of 300 metres.
300 metres,
which is about 330 odd yards. So I have been trotting around the recreation ground.
Just 300 yards.
It's more puffing than you'd think, actually.
Yeah.
I
suppose it is really.
I'd like to see anyone actually. Well, I'd like to see anyone actually think, "Oh, I can do that," then actually go around a couple of football pitches, because you're surprised how out of breath you get.
Is it?
I couldn't
twice
believe
around
it.
a football pitch, is it?
Well, virtually, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Because
maybe I couldn't do it.
Even more shocking than that was that I found out yesterday when I walked the course, as you say, and I walked from Granville Road to our Wheeler Road, and that was 400 yards, so it's a bit more than I thought, which gives me a bit more glory, I suppose, because I'll be out there longer. But perhaps I'd increase my fitness at a late stage, so I've got an extra few yards to do.
Yeah.
But so I've been doing a few jogs around just to. Yeah. But I don't tend to go very fast because you lose the moment.
Well, this is it. I was going to say you don't want to sprint it, do you?
Not
because
at all.
It's over in a flash, isn't it?
I wouldn't be able to sprint at any rate.
No,
but no, I think.
Do they stipulate you've got to run, or
no?
Can you
they haven't told us for definitely. I haven't had anything about how you do it. We'll get that on the day when we get there, I think. But I've seen people walk, obviously wheelchairs and people limping and all sorts. So I think a slow jog is called for.
I think so. It all starts in Beatrice Avenue, and Beatrice Avenue was where Stan Cox lived, wasn't it? Now,
yes.
Stan Cox was, I think it was 1946 Olympics.
1948.
48 Olympics. Yeah. And he was an Olympic medalist, wasn't he?
He was,
in 48.
Yeah.
And they actually, I was watching a bit on him on TV the other night, and because he was a marathon runner, wasn't he? And he ran 500 yards too far. Or
he went an extra lap or something, didn't he? Because he
went
didn't hear the bell, or they didn't ring the bell for him. I remember I heard the same thing as you. Yeah.
And he still won. It's fantastic, isn't it? You know.
Yes, that was a shame.
And sadly, he's died. He died a week before, exactly a week before. So he couldn't.
In fact, his funeral is Thursday, I think, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it is on Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, what a shame.
But that is a shame. And again, people have been saying about him being nominated to run with the torch, but as I said before, if you don't nominate, the powers that be aren't going to know who people are unless the locals nominate somebody. And it doesn't have to be a council. I mean, if you read the stories of the torchbearers, you'll find my brother put me forward or my auntie put me forward. So it's not just a council thing.
No, absolutely.
Depends what your claims to fame are.
It would have been lovely to see him just do the Beatrice Avenue part, even if it was in a wheelchair. It would have been marvellous, because he was quite a sprightly lad, He was often seen sort of power walking up the seafront. He was kept agile. He did, and he was always around the town. I used to bump into him around the town. We asked him to come in here a few times, and he said no. He said that his daughter, I think he said it was his daughter that has told him he's got to stop. But we did ask him to come down. We even offered to go up to his house to do a bit, but
I'm surprised. It's a bit of a shame.
It is a little bit of a shame, but there again, there's the hero Felixstowe. Felixstowe's full of heroes.
Yeah. Are you aware we've got a celebrity torch runner now, torchbearer?
No.
Adrian Morehouse, the swimmer.
Yeah, the swimmer. Yeah.
He's doing one of the legs now. I spotted on the website yesterday, I think.
What, for the Felixstowe?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No idea why. We started off as 6 runners, and I was a bit worried because that looked an awful long way for 6 runners.
Yeah.
Then it went to 7 because someone else appeared from Norwich, and now it's up to 9.
Well, I had a look on the website this morning. We had a quick look. I didn't see that. Hey, it's Adrian Morehouse. Wow, that's 9 runners.
Yeah,
so we've got 9 kiss points in Felixstowe.
Well, as I understand it, looking at it yesterday, there are 9 of us now, so there will be 9 kiss points. Yeah.
Are you keeping your torch?
Yes.
You're going to keep
no eBay for me.
No eBay. Well,
not at all. No.
They're making about 130,000 quid, these torches, aren't they?
Well, that's what people say, but I'm not convinced there.
That's an awful lot of money.
Better put the insurance up on my house. I think.
That's worth more than that's worth more than our. No, it isn't.
Yes,
quite.
it's,
But you don't think one torch is equal almost to the value of our house?
Yes, I'm not. No, I've got no intention of
No.
It's something to pass on from one person to another, one family.
Absolutely. I think they disarm them. You can't light them.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, there's only a certain amount of gas in them anyway. So,
and I think they then disarm them after that, so they can't be used.
I'm actually sponsored by Samsung, I'm supposed to say, on every time I have any interviews, because there are different sponsors for every runner.
Oh, right, yes.
And mine is Samsung. And I think they're presenting me with my torch. I haven't actually got to pay hard-earned cash for it, which is even better.
Oh, right. Excellent. So it's not costing you a penny?
No.
Oh, because
I understand it.
Some people were
200,
up to
£200,
yeah.
200 seems to be that. I reckon they cost about 500 to make. 200 is what they're generously giving them away for. But as I understand from Samsung, they're presenting me with mine at the end. So
the torches have actually been made in this country. There was a piece on TV this morning about it, and they're actually made in this country, and they went off to BMW in Germany, who put them through a wind tunnel and make sure they didn't blow out. I think they had to go up to 50-mile-an-hour winds, and also torrential rain, so they weren't snuffed that way.
They have, I think it has blown out a few times, hasn't it?
Well,
and they have a standby lighter to re-go it. But I looked at the weather for the Sea Road on Thursday, and
what is it?
No, it's not too bad. The wind is much lighter than it has been, so that's not too bad. There could be a shower or two, but it doesn't look too bad.
It doesn't really matter anyway. It never rains in Felix though. We always got our little microclimate here, haven't we? You know, and it can be downpouring in Ipswich.
Yes.
But here we can have sunshine.
Yes.
Hopefully that's going to happen for us this week.
Hopefully.
Well, John, thank you very much for coming in and giving us an insight into the torch bearing. We shall look out for you. We are filming it. Hopefully we're going to be in the truck that is before the runner.
Right.
So that we can get a good front view.
We'll get a good view, yes.
We shall also be parked out at points up the road, so we'll get a couple of cameramen in for that as well. Yeah. So we'll look. Where are you running from, by the way? You're going
from near the leisure centre, so I'm actually starting in Granville Road, which is
Granville Road,
first road on the right,
first road,
along the Sea Road, and I'm going to Arwheeler Road.
And that's up the seafront?
Along the seafront, in the Sea Road. We're not actually on the promenade or anything, it's actually in the road, but yes, that's my stint.
There should be a good vantage point there actually, because you obviously got pavements on both sides, and you've also got the wall. I'm sure people was standing on the wall to see it. You know?
I think especially as obviously the schools will be out by then. If I was doing it at 11 in the morning, I don't know whether they would have let kids out or not, but as the schools have finished for the day, then I think there'll be a lot of children there as well.
There'll be a lot of
manic,
people.
I think.
A lot of people the whole way, I think.
I think you're right.
People do turn out in Felix for these things.
Yeah.
We've got quite a good town. I like it anyway.
Yes.
And I'm an import to the town. I've been here about 30 years now, I think.
Well, I worked at the Port of Felixstowe for 33 years, so I have quite a close connection with Felixstowe, although I live at Curtin. So.
Yeah, well, it's part of us.
Part of
we go as far as Curtin.
Oh, yes.
That's the envelope, you know. I know that it's separated by the main road, but there we go. Well, thank you very much, John.
Pleasure.
Great of you to come in and talk about it. I hope everything goes right for you. I hope it stays dry. And
don't trip over. I think that's the main thing.
Don't trip over. Don't drop the torch, because nobody's dropped it yet.
Yeah, they're the two worst things.
And let's hope there's not enough wind to blow it out, because it can get windy down there. So
yes, there's no problem, I think.
So good luck, and thank you very much. And I'll say goodbye to all our viewers. Don't forget that everything starts on the seafront, in Beatrice Avenue, at about 4:45 on Thursday. So we'll see you all then. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.